I wanted to go through Kyle Roof's Product Page Optimizer Pro. And I believe I had a subscription, maybe even a year ago. And I like certain parts of it, but I just didn't feel like I was using it very often. So I think I ended the subscription. And just like a lot of tools, they start with doing, maybe on-page analysis, and then they expand and do other things. And I think he has an AI writer that's included in this Page Optimizer Pro tool as well now. But what prompted me is I got hit by, at least one of my sites got hit by the Google Helpful Content update. And I'd been meaning to go and really look at, EAT signals, or EEAT signals as they are calling them now, and try and improve that. So I definitely listen to a lot of Kyle Roof stuff if he's on Niche Pursuits or any of the other kind of SEO specific podcasts or blogs, and I generally trust his stuff. So I went back and listened to a podcast that was released back in January of 2023, and my idea was to go listen to some of Kyle's stuff, and then go and I subscribed to Matt Diggity's course and just go look at both of their modules on EEAT, make my own checklist of what I need to improve on this particular site. So, step one, I had heard in Kyle Roof's podcast on Niche Pursuits that he had released as part of his Page Optimizer Pro tool, kind of an EEAT analysis. So I thought that'd be a good starting point. So I did end up resubscribing. I don't know for how long, but it gave me some credits. So essentially, I'm just going to go through some basics of how to use that tool quickly for EEAT, what my experience is, and we will go from there. So what I did is I did an analysis of, it's definitely something that probably goes into the medical field, which is always a little dangerous, but how to reset your gut. So this is just a protocol that I thought was useful for myself on resetting my gut. I do it once a year. It has to do with apple peels and red phenols and all kinds of good stuff. And it does pretty well in Google in general, but I thought I would use it as my example number one, because it does not have a specific author, just kind of the generic one. I wrote it quite a while ago before I was using myself as the author. So I thought I would start there. And then while I'm still on this video, I will likely go run one with me as the author. So a couple things I thought was interesting as you go through here. Let's see, go to the EEAT prompts. So what I wanted to know is, what are the things on my page that, or actually the things that are not on my page that might give me some more EEAT. And you can see that my privacy policy there, it's giving me a credit for a Meet the Team page, which I really don't think I have, but maybe it's something here in the footer that's giving me that credit. Gives you a little, I've got an About Us on there, so maybe that's what's qualifying. Organization schema. It's just saying that it is there either on the home page or someplace. I have no idea where that is, but it's giving me credit, so that's a good thing. Author schema. So the theme I use does have deliver this little area here. I use Carbonate from a guy by the name of Matt Giovanisi. I don't think he's supporting Carbonate anymore, but I still use it because it works pretty well and is fast. So I think that's giving me my author schema. Date published updated, that is in the theme as well. Let's see what internal links. You have lots of internal links. That's good. I have the SSL certificate. Fantastic. Social media links. I've got those all down in the footer here. Twitter card. Not sure what that is. Maybe that's just my Twitter handle there. Twitter description. Let's just see what it says there. Twitter description. I don't know. It's saying I have it, so I will trust it on that one. Meta author tag. That's, I'm assuming, might be what's in here. And person schema. I'm guessing that the person schema might be in this little author area as well, even though it doesn't identify a particular person, but it's giving me credit. So, as I understand, the methodology here is to really just understand what a bot would understand, not necessarily if this was being reviewed by a person. So some things that I thought were interesting, saying that I should have a terms of service page. So I may go ahead and add that as part of my footer here. I don't think I really need this resources area. So I may add that. Return policy, I don't really sell anything necessarily, but that gives me a little, I've been considering doing some physical products, so maybe I'll go ahead and create a return policy. Again, all of this is to help you look in the eyes of Google as a real business. Customer service page, it's something I could probably create pretty easily as well. Because I'm not a shopping site at this point, I'm not going to worry about payment and exchange policies. A blog page. I'm surprised it's not giving me credit for that. A link that contains the word blog. Huh. I do not have a blog page. That's interesting. All right. Well, I will perhaps add that either in the menu up at the top or down below. I do have this archives page, which kind of sends you there, but all right, that's something good that I didn't know. Let's see, what else do we have here? Cookie policy GDPR. I do have a privacy policy, but I do not have a cookie policy. So something I might want to add. Copyright, I have that down here. I don't know why it's not able to detect it, but something I might need to look into as well. Maybe it's not understanding or reading this. Maybe I have to say the word copyright. So maybe I'll have to add that in as well. Contact details. I have a work with us page, but not contacts. Let's see what it says here. Doesn't really give you any details there, but I've been meaning to do a contact page. So maybe I would just say contact rather than work with us. And right now, honestly, this is just going back to the about page, so I need to fix that anyways. Let's see, what else do we have here? Authoritative outbound links. I do a pretty good job of going to authoritative outbound links. Usually PubMed articles and things of that nature. But maybe I need to do a little bit better at saying, .gov and .edu. So perhaps I will find some of those links to reference and get those in. And then linking to an author page. So I'm going to see where... Yep, there's no link to it. So I am wondering if I go to something that I have an author page on, whether that does have a link. Interesting, it does not. So I'm going to run a report on one of these pages that has me as an author, and we'll see what that looks like. But yeah, there's not a link specifically. So maybe that's something I need to add in the user or author schema in WordPress. I will have to figure that out. And that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new page, and we're going to run I'm going to use Pop Pro. If you want it to do the EAT analysis, I'm not worrying about the NLP API at this point for these. I might go back and do that later. So it does charge you credits on your account. So let's go find what's a good page. Why do volleyball players wear long sleeves? Actually, I'm going to do the NLP on this one since it's something I recently wrote and can go back and fix it. Target region, I'm going to say United States. And I'm going to give the page name the same title. Now I'm going to go grab that extension there for the full URL. And I think we're good. Oh, you can add secondary keywords. I didn't notice that. I'm not going to worry about that in this case. So let's go ahead and so it takes about 3 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and pause. I don't think anybody wants to sit around and wait for that. And it does take about 3 minutes. So we'll pause and wait for it to come back online, and we'll keep going. All right, it's still running. Now it's telling us that it's visiting our page, which is interesting. So while this is happening, anything I have on, if you want to use Page Optimizer Pro, I will see if I can get a deal for us. So I will put a link in the description below. Looks like it's getting close to, there we go. Still processing. So yeah, so if anything I'm mentioning in the video, I will try and link it below so you can get the easy access to it. If I can find a discount code, I will put that in as well for Page Optimizer Pro or any of Kyle Roof's services. Like I said, I'm also a member of I think it's not called the SEO Lab, but it's Matt Diggity's course, and I will put a link for that as well. I found that it's just really something everybody should have if they're going to do SEO. He does a pretty good job of keeping it updated. All right, so it's still processing. I'm going to go on pause again and wait for it to finish. We are back. Number one, I got a really bad overall content brief optimization score, so that's interesting. So one thing the Page Optimizer Pro offers as well as an AI writer. I have not explored that, but I might with some of my remaining credits. So I think allows you to either just buy credits, so you can just use this as you need it. You can buy a subscription, which give you a set amount of credits per month. I didn't know what would enable all of the functionality, and I didn't want to worry about it, so I just resubscribed to a subscription. I don't know how often I'll use this, so I may just go back onto a credit system after the month. We will see. All right, so I may do another video about the AI writer at some point. Okay, so I'm going to open the report. And I'm not going to speak to all of the optimization things. I find these tools pretty hard to use in general. I just wish there was something that would say, go include these things, and just, where they were made much simpler. Again, yeah, I'm not going to go too deep into that. I've got other tools, Phrase and some other ones that I've got lifetime deals on. All right, so I'm going to go over here to EEAT because I am curious on what the difference is, or what it's saying I'm missing. So, thing, person schema, terms of service, customer service page, blog page, we knew that, copyright, contact details, article schema. Article schema, that's something I need to work on. I think there are some plugins that can help you with that. So I need to do a little more research there. Recent blog post. The date and the time tag is within 30 days from the current date. Huh. That's interesting. That is a something that makes you less EEAT worthy. Link to author page, same thing. So yes, I have to do something about these. So this is generally helpful to me. So I'm going to kind of understand this information, which is going to prompt me to, I was able to cut and paste those little items, and I've got a list of things that I do not have. So I'm going to work on these. Most of them will just, these are some things that I wanted to do anyways, but there's some good things in here that I didn't realize. I didn't realize that I didn't have something that said blog page. The phone number. It's interesting. It didn't quote the phone number on here. So I don't know if I need to put the phone number in the footer, which I think I will do. That is interesting that it put it on that previous article, but not this one. Maybe because it was more specific to health, but that's something I'm going to address. I've been hesitant to put on any sort of like GDPR cookie policy plugins, but I think it seems like every website's doing it, so I guess people are likely getting used to it. I'm assuming maybe I just have to put in the word copyright. I will get a contact page up and running. I'm going to figure out the article schema. Again, this one did not ask me to do more authoritative outbound links, which is interesting. Again, it may be because it's not about health. So what's interesting is it says this is in beta, but Google entities, and this is something I think will just boggle my mind. But it's trying to classify you, what Google thinks you are. So I suspect that's driving some of those trust signals. And because this is not, what do they call it? Your money, your life. This is not consequential. If somebody doesn't understand why a volleyball player doesn't wear sleeves, not earth shattering. So that is likely why it's giving me a break and not worried as much about the link quality to outbound sources. So no, this is good information overall. I would have not thought that it was important to have something that was specifically .edu or .gov for credibility, but that's good to know. And yeah, so overall, definitely helpful. My guess is that, once you get your EEAT signals figured out, a lot of these things are going to end up in the footer or your header. You may not need to run this for every article, but if you do have a subscription, it's likely helpful. So hopefully this is helpful. If you're looking at any of Kyle Roof's stuff, again, I appreciate, anytime he's done a podcast, he usually brings good information. And his tool, Page Optimizer Pro. And again, this is just really how to use that Page Optimizer Pro tool to evaluate your Google EEAT. Thanks for listening. If you get the chance, we're trying to grow the channel. If you can just click subscribe, I would appreciate it. And a little like would be fantastic as well. Thanks.